In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem. In Memphis, nothing comes easy, and that's exactly how we like it. This is a city built on hustle, on heart, on grit. And at Carway, our rides are built the same way. Tough, reliable, ready for the grind. No games, no gimmicks, just Memphis-style service. Real, honest, and built on trust. Where grit meets grind, you meet your next ride. Carway, grit, grind, and pink beetles. Welcome to the Daily Grind, a Bluff City Media daily podcast. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Luke Hatmaker. Grab your favorite morning brew, and let's get to the show.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Grind. Unfortunately, Luke Hatmaker is still without power in Nashville, Tennessee. So you get the two buffoons from the Bluff City. I am Rusty Witten, brought to you on the Daily Grind, brought to you by FanDuel, with my guy Kenny Stubblefield, who is out in the freezing killer fog in Collierville. How you holding up out there, Kenny?
Yeah, I mean, literally, I woke up this morning, took my dog out, let him out. The skies was clear. Everything was fine. Everything was good. Go back inside, come back outside about 5 minutes later, and it is fog and a weather advisory of the fog that's rolling in. Don't get it twisted. This is the Kenny version. Don't get it twisted. This ain't just fog. This could potentially refreeze and add layers of black ice on top of the already mountainous layers of Game of Thrones type ice that's out there right now. So yeah, it's wild. It's a wild looking morning out here in the Seaville.
Well, we haven't got it quite to East Memphis yet. It's still a little clear out there. It's still cold. There's still plenty of ice and snow on the ground.
Yeah.
As I struggle my way through the intro, here's my voice is still waking up. I don't know if it's just because I've been inside so much.
Yeah.
If I've just been going so much, but like I don't feel sick. I just sound horrible. It's just like I don't have a voice.
No.
I have a little productive cough here and there, so I wouldn't call myself sick. But I am better off, Kenny, than a buddy of mine. You know, the snow and the ice is a lot of fun until there's an accident. And I had a buddy who was in a snowblowing accident, and he lost his left arm and his left leg in the snowblowing accident. But he's all right now.
Shout out.
Welcome to the Daily Grind. Shout out Maggie for that one. It was in a book that she read over the weekend. I thought it was quite hilarious. Yeah. Well, as Kenny freezes here on your screen once again, he's going to have some Wi-Fi issues on me here today, and I'm going to have to tote this show with this bum voice. Speaking of bum, the Memphis Grizzlies do take on the Charlotte Hornets tonight in the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. The Hornets come in hot, man. They have been scoring points by the bunches. This Hornets team is a team that can get hot. They got a bunch of dudes who can score. I'm talking about LaMelo Ball. I'm talking about Con Knipple. I'm talking about Brandon Miller, he's a shooter in every sense of the word, if you remember some times at Alabama there. But the Hornets are 6-4 in their last 10, coming in averaging over 116 points per game. They give up right at 115 points per game. So tonight could be an opportunity for the Grizzlies to kind of get a leg up and get a win if they can just avoid the stinger. The Hornets, I never thought I would say the statement that I'm about to make right now in the year of our Lord 2026. If you had told me back in June or July of this year that Charlotte was going to come to Memphis and be a 2-point favorite over the Memphis Grizzlies, I would have thought you'd lost your mind. But here we are at the end of January, and the Hornets are a 2-point favorite over the Memphis Grizzlies. Shout out Jalen in the comments. Appreciate you being here. Looks like Kenny got his ubiquity back working again. Appreciate you hanging out with us, buddy, man. It's Kenny, welcome back, sir. Come on back.
Hey, man, listen, I see Jalen. I need that ubiquity, bro. Like I for some reason at this time of the day, and my computer's like, or my Wi-Fi is like, you're never doing a show at 7:30 in the morning ever.
Yeah.
What is going on? We're gonna cycle down and figure out what's going on here.
It thinks you've been hacked, is what it is.
Yeah, he's been hacked. Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, so I was just talking about Kenny. I never would have thought this summer that the Charlotte Hornets would come to Memphis and be a 2-point favorite over the home Grizzlies.
No. But apparently they are one of the more fun teams to watch in the NBA. I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched much of them. Yeah, I haven't watched much.
They got a lot of young players who can score. Con Knipple, the Nip, has been filling it up.
Yeah.
Wow, that got weird quick. But Con Knipple's been filling it up for the Hornets. LaMelo Ball can score. Miles Bridges has had a bit of a resurgence. He's been beating the rim down more than his lady friend. Maybe.
I saw that. That was so good. That was good.
Yeah,
he's been focusing his beatings on other things and
on other things besides his lady friend. Yeah,
good God.
We're off the rail. This is what happens when Luke Hatmaker's not here to keep this show PG. But LaMelo Ball's been killing it lately. Brandon Miller's got his shot back. As Jalen said, they're on a roll and could very easily come into the FedEx Forum and bust our ass. But like, if it holds true to form, Kenny, at some point during this game, we're going to balloon up to a double-digit point lead, only for it to falter in the fourth quarter with Jaren and Cedric sitting beside Tuan Isolo for 6 minutes of the final 12. Do you think this is a night we can see some of that stubbornness change?
No, absolutely not. Like, what part about it? Like, and I had a little bit of a freak out session on the post-game bounce the other night because I'm just like, again, and I was telling Jared this, like, I don't care if they win or if they lose. Like, that does not matter to me. What matters to me is getting your guys ready to go to be that next, the future of whatever. If you think that Jaren's not the guy to like that you want to build around, which I think that's a very real thing. Like, I don't think he's a guy you build a team around. He's not used properly. He hasn't in a lot of ways progressed his ability to like withstand an entire 48 minutes of a game. Like, he has too many lulls in there. So if Cedric's the guy, then like give him the opportunity to be the guy and at least like, because here's the thing, the reality of the situation is as you're getting, he's a very good basketball player, but is he a good NBA fourth quarter guy? Probably not yet. Probably not yet. But you know what? Most of the best that's ever done it at the end of the game weren't good at it when they first started. And so I'm not asking them to win games. I'm asking them to put their best foot forward. Like that's what I want Tomas to do. And the fact that he is consistently putting out Jalen Wells and John Conchar and whoever else, Omax in the fourth quarter instead of your guys in the fourth quarter, it feels super unethical and super weird, and I don't like it.
Well, I mean, there is an obvious reason for that, and Jalen is sniffing all over it. The only reason you're playing Omax, Jitty, Vince, and these weird lineups in the fourth quarter is you don't want to win basketball games. Because I'm like you, like I'm hyper competitive and I hate losing. Like I said on the $2 Sports Show the other day, my brother and I used to compete over everything growing up. Who got the first bite after Mama said the blessing? Who, told Mama it was good food first? We competed over everything. I hate losing. But I understand
all
that
your competitions have have food involved. Is that a trend that we can?
I mean, listen, I'm a high-calorie human, so that makes sense. But we competed in horse and basketball, one-on-one football, one-on-one baseball, all the things. But, like, I understand that losing behooves us this year, right? Because we get a better chance at a generational type talent at the top end of this draft, and then it's a super deep draft. So I understand that. But I want to see a winning mentality. And a winning mentality is Cedric Howard, GG, getting reps in the fourth quarter, being out there in high leverage situations. So when we're better in the future with better talent, then we'll have a guy who has been in high leverage situations and can make those shots. And if that's Cedric and Gigi right now, let it be them, because that'll only help us down the line when we no longer have Jai and possibly no longer have Jaron on this team. And we're building around Cedric and Edie. And I think Gigi, he was one of my untouchables yesterday on the 2 Buck Sports Show as a guy we can build around in the future.
Yeah, I mean, listen, as much as I like Jalen Wells, I think he's a great human being. Anthony and I had the chance to spend some time with him at an event he did, an unprompted, an ungrizzly. It was at Bruce Celebrity, giving a speech about all of their about the National Junior Honor Society stuff. It was fantastic. He's great, and the kids loved him. He's a great kid, but he is not a guy that you put in closing situations and say, go get buckets for us. But guess who could be? Guess who's showing the flashes of being able to be that person? Someone that you can trust, someone that adds when the game needs extra force added to it because the game is in the fourth quarter and and that's what the game is asking for. The one guy who plays the position that Jalen does that has been doing that is Gigi Jackson. And
I'm like the Vince Carter meme right now, because I'm like, I've been on Gigi this whole time. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, it's Gigi. Like, I didn't leave his side, and Gigi is coming along. He still has a long way to go, especially defensively. But Gigi is doing more winning things than Jalen is right now, particularly with, like, Gigi is lethal on a backdoor cut. Lethal on the backdoor cut.
Yeah, he moves his size and athleticism alone adds an extra layer of a dynamic to what the Grizzlies are trying to do in the fourth quarter that you have to account for him, right? Like, that's one of the things, even as we were talking and hyping up the idea that the Grizzlies might go get Zach Edey, is just his presence alone creates force attached to it that makes you have to, like, account for him. Unfortunately, right now, like, Jalen is the kind of guy who you say, I'm going to sag off him or I'm going to pressure him hard at the 3-point line. I'm going to run him off the 3-point line, because if he puts the ball on the floor, it's cookies and I'm taking it. It's cookies and I'm taking it, right? Or it's cookies and I'm going to make him 1-2 dribble, pick it up, and then, like, have to do some funky little footwork to get around me. Like, there's just different layers of force that are attached to Gigi Jackson because of the way that he moves and his size and his athleticism. And so it's like, but here's the thing. He's also 21 years old, and Cedric is also 20 years old, or however old he is, 21 years old. Like, they're going to fail right now a lot more than they're going to succeed. And so, hey, you're still going to get your tank. You're still going to get your losses that you so desperately want because you want a good draft pick, but you're also going to be pushing those guys who are probably going to be a part of this team for the future into more high leverage moments and getting a lot of those failures out of the way right now, so that next year or the year after they are ready to go for that moment, you know? Like, that's what I want to see. I don't care what Vince and Jalen do out there in the fourth quarter. I don't care, because these guys are not guys that you're looking forward to be the fourth quarter guys in the future.
No, there's a world where neither is on this team in the next 2 seasons. By the end of this season, there's a world where Vince could be gone. Jalen might be with the right price.
You've been trying to get Jitty off this team for 5 years, and yet he's still there getting fourth quarter minutes. Like, what are we doing?
Which is just wild. Yeah,
I just think it's
wild,
crazy.
man.
I just think it's I am fully on board with accumulate as many losses as you can to get a better draft pick. I'm on board with that because I think that this is a lost season anyway. I agree. Anthony says it on his show all the time. I agree. On October 31st, my hopes for this season went out the door with Ja Morant's little temper tantrum that he threw, taking that
and I was in the building for it.
Yeah, taking that shit from the locker room out to the media. I was like, whoa, that's it, right? Like that's the season. And it really did. That's when my whole outlook on Ja Morant as the future of the Memphis Grizzlies changed, was that day, that night. And so this has been a lost season anyway. This is the third straight lost season we've had with the Memphis Grizzlies. So let's not get too like crazy about it. Like, let's not get too comfortable in our pounding our chest and being like, oh, we're not the Washington Wizards and we're not the Sacramento Kings and we're not that. We've had 3 straight seasons of by the end of it going, let's just get this thing over with and get to the draft. Like that, we're sounding a lot more Washington than we are Denver. We're sounding a lot more Washington than we are OKC. You know what I'm saying? Like we're sounding a lot more like that than we think.
So that's a good point, because you look at the last 10 games for certain teams at the bottom of the NBA. The Brooklyn Nets 1-9, the Washington Wizards 1-9, the Milwaukee Bucks 3-7, Utah Jazz 2-8, Memphis Grizzlies 3-7. We're in the mix with those terrible teams.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, you can blame injury luck, but at the same time, we've had that going on for 3-4 years now. That is what it is. There's nothing you can do about that. But what you can do right now is, like you said, I would rather take my lumps with the young kids. Let Cedric and Cam and Gigi be out there in the fourth quarter figuring it out, because when Cam moves to more of a secondary role behind a future point guard, when you've got Cedric and Gigi as your starting 2 and 3 in the future around a new point guard, Zach Edey, and a different power forward, those are going to be guys who've been in high leverage situations that can go get you a bucket. And if you watch Gigi, like, this is why I've never been out on Gigi. He's 6'9", he's 21, and he is uber athletic, like you said. Watch him compared to Jalen Wells' athleticism. Jalen Wells is 6'7" and a non-athlete. Gigi is freakishly athletic. He can jump, he can run, he can get in the way defensively. He's getting better at seeing the floor. I'm going to push my chips in on a guy who is 6'9", freakishly athletic, and showing the capability of improving as a basketball player over the one who's 6'7", can't dunk, looking over his shoulder on fast breaks. And what we relied on last year for Jalen, his defense, is nowhere to be found.
Let me just tell you this, dude. Like the run that Jalen Wells is on right now of bad basketball. Gigi did not play that bad of basketball when he was in the G League. When they were sending him with coaches' decisions, did not play coaches' decisions, and then sending him to the G League. Yeah. Like right now, and yet every single game we get the same thing. He's starting and he's playing high leverage minutes in the fourth quarter, and it's just, it feels like, as a guy who I do not claim to be as smart about basketball as Tomas Isolo. Like I'm not a basketball nerd like he is. But I also do. I know what my two eyes, my lion eyes tell me. That's there's nothing about what Jalen Wells does out there on the court right now that tells me that he should be playing over Gigi Jackson at all. Yeah. Like getting 0 more minutes than Gigi Jackson. The lion's share of the starting 3 minutes should be on Gigi Jackson's shoulders right now. 100%.
Couldn't agree more. Start Gigi at the 3. Been saying that for 2 years now. Let's make it happen. Yeah. Speaking of Grizzlies who may no longer be with the team going forward, I got a prop of the morning to you that's a bit out there. It's for my guy Wayno. Hopefully he's up watching. If not, you're watching this back later. Kenny, I am looking at Santi Aldama. Santi's been playing better as of late. He had 17 against Houston the other night. I just feel like we're in for a good Santi night tonight. This is a good team for him to go, that he would go kill. You know, he has good games against bad teams, and so I feel like tonight's a good chance. So my prop of the morning for you is Santi Aldama. 3+ made threes, 8+ rebounds, get you plus 696 on FanDuel. Good bet, bad bet. What are your thoughts?
That's a hell of a bet. Yes. Like, I feel like you are finding these props that are just like Like FanDuel is like just trying to give us money right now. Like this is what he does. He shoots threes and he rebounds the hell out of the ball. Like he's a good rebounder for somebody that's as slight a frame as he is. He knows how to somehow use that 7-foot frame to get rebounds. Even though he has got little tiny stick arms, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how he does it, but he does it. And I honestly wonder if Santi confuses other players with the way that he moves, because he's so tall and he's so loosey-goosey that it's almost like I could imagine as somebody who's played against dudes who are not 7 foot tall. I've played against 7-footers before, but most of the time they're lumbering dudes who don't know how to move, but who have played against guys who are like taller than I am, but are just weirdly athletic. And it's very difficult to guard them. It's very difficult to like really kind of like understand how they move. And I feel like that's how Santi is. Santi's just a weird mover for somebody his size.
He's wiry. He's one of those guys like if you walk in like a gym and you look at him, you'd be like, I don't know. But he's going to be sneakily strong, sneakily athletic, and very finesse. And one other prop I wish that FanDuel would give me, I would take the over on 3-shot fouls for Santi Aldama, because he has a very unique way of getting at least 1 or 2 every game. When people come into his landing zone, he pulls his best SGA, moves a foot, and gets a 3-shot foul. Him and Cam Spencer have been on a roll lately for 3-shot fouls. Yeah, I look for him to make a couple of those threes and maybe get us like a 4-point play tonight.
Yeah, let's do it. I would absolutely go. I mean, you get, what is that? You make, if you bet 10, you get $69. Is that how it works? Yeah, like that is too pretty. That's about a tank and a half worth of gas. So like I would absolutely throw $10 on Santi with 3+ threes and 8+ rebounds tonight. That's a great prop, man. Shout out FanDuel for that. Like ball knowers know Santi Aldama's strength, and if you want to bet with your heart and not your head, bet on the Memphis Grizzlies, especially Santi Aldama, 3+ threes, 8+ rebounds. That's the show. There you go.
Kenny, we're going to take a real quick commercial break, because on the other side, we still got to talk about the elephant in the room. We've talked about ubiquity a little bit. I want you and I to have a conversation about Robert Pera and a few other things, including our daily segment of It's a Trap, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Stick with us to the other side of this commercial break. We'll be right back.
In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem. Memphis, it's going down. This Friday, January 30th, the Grizzlies go to war with New Orleans, and the city's watching together at Grind City Brewing. Big screens, cold beer, loud fans, real Memphis energy. Pull up for the Bluff City Media Watch Party at Grind City Brewing, where the beer is cold and the vibes are undefeated. Don't watch alone, watch it with the city.
There's one thing I just can't seem to shake. That just doesn't seem right. It seems a little off this season. It's been explained to us. It's been like rationalized, I suppose. But Ty not playing yet? My spider senses tingle. Okay? Yeah, I just don't buy it. Was Jar's removal from the squad already set in stone before the season started? We've already seen BC come back and out again. That tells me a lot.
something's fishy with how they're handling this calf injury. As a physical therapist, you know, he was immediately in the Ultra G. He's been in practice videos for weeks now. Weeks.
Yeah.
Still not playing.
I just wonder if we will only see Ty back on the court when Jar is off the roster.
I do agree. If we were 6 games, you know, top 6 seed, we were above 500, we were fighting for like a top 4 seed in the playoffs, I do think both Ty Jerome and Zach Edey would be back playing on this roster and playing games. I do believe that wholeheartedly.
Tune into the 2 Buck Sports Show with Rusty Witten and Drew Gann, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. In Memphis, nothing comes easy, and that's exactly how we like it. This is a city built on hustle, on heart, on grit. And at Carway, our rides are built the same way. Tough, reliable, ready for the grind. No games, no gimmicks, just Memphis-style service. Real, honest, and built on trust. Where grit meets grind, you meet your next ride. Carway, grit, grind, and Pink Beetles.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind presented by FanDuel. Got my guy Kenny Stubblefield here. I am Rusty Witten. We are filling in for Luke Hatmaker, who is still without power, much like a lot of the Southeast T's and P's out there too. Those out in the cold. Appreciate y'all tuning in. If you are, if you're not, stay warm, keep your head down, and we'll see y'all on the other side of all of this.
How are your folks in Mississippi doing?
So my brother graciously had some friends donate some wood that they could keep warm with their fireplace. My dad is with his sister and mom. They've got a generator, so they're doing okay. My mom's with her sister and her mom, generator. They're hanging in there.
Good.
TVA now has power to Alcorn County, so now they just got to get it out to all the houses. And so it's just taking some time. My dad is pretty rural, so it might be a little bit before he gets power out in Farmington. Mama will get it pretty soon because she's downtown, and I'm afraid for my brother because they're in Mickey, Tennessee, and I think there's only like a few houses that are on his grid, so they might be one of the last ones to get power back just because of that. So, yeah, my brother and I, like, we remember the ice storm of '94.
Yes,
we were kids, and we thought it was kind of fun. We're camping in my granddad's insurance office, walking through the ice and snow. He's like, it's different when you've got kids. He said, it's different watching my wife and 3 sons cuddle up in front of the fireplace. He's like, it's different. And they just hit me like, God, I hope they get power back soon.
They need it, man. They need it, man. Thoughts and prayers to everybody that's out there. Thoughts and prayers to 2 Buck Sports' very own Drew Gann, who's out there on the front lines dealing with all of it. So
I talked to him last night. I've been calling him every day, checking in. I talked to him last night. He said that they have power back to the county from TVA. So their 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. days are about to start when they're out there trying to hook up everybody's power. It's going to be some long, grueling days. Unfortunately for Drew, he's on the grid with the hospital and his work office, and both of them have power, but Drew still doesn't have power yet because of a tree limb that came down. So might still be a few days before Uncle Buck has power. It might be even longer before he has internet because the fiber optics are down. And he was like, I don't know when we're going to restore that.
Yeah.
So it might be a hot minute before you see the mouth of the South, Drew Gann, on the 2 Buck Sports Show again, unfortunately.
Well, the show is in good hands with you, and we're obviously, man, as Drew can take as long as he needs to, obviously. But man, God bless. It's crazy. Crazy.
Tough times here in the South, man. Tough times here in the South. Speaking of tough times in the South, Robert Pera. We talked about it yesterday in the group chat. Kenny, might as well talk about it a bit on the air. Wayno and I touched on it a little bit yesterday. Like, the more I've sat with it, and for those living under a rock, Pablo Torres put his sights on Robert Pera and the Memphis Grizzlies this week, releasing an episode talking about Robert Pera's ubiquity Wi-Fi equipment being utilized by the Russian military on the front lines, attacking the Ukrainian citizens and soldiers. The problem with that is the Russians are under sanctions from the U.S. government, where we can conduct no business with them but his products are still showing up and actively being bought by undercover journalists posing as Russian citizens, military aides, whatever.
Yeah.
And so smartly, Robert Pera and Ubiquity use a third-party selling company to where their hands are off. They have no fingerprints on any of the sales. And at first I was like, oh man, this is terrible. Like he's going to have to sell the team. We're like all these bad things. But the more I thought about it, like Hamas and ISIS and all these different organizations who carry out these remote bombings or remote detonation, they use iPhones all the time, and Tim Cook's not in trouble. Like China, we're the NBA and the American government. There's so much in bed with the Chinese that nobody's in trouble. So I think if anything, he'll get maybe a fine. I know you've got different thoughts because it is his second offense because he did get in trouble with these showing up in Iran. So what are your thoughts on the whole Robert Pera Ubiquity Russia gate, I guess?
I don't think I have different thoughts about like what the potential outcomes are. It could very easily be nothing, right? I guess until we know, my thoughts have been circling around, like asking the question, who leaked it to Hunter Brook Media and to Pablo Torre? Like, who leaked this information? Who had Robert Pera and Ubiquity in their sights enough to be able to do an investigation like this? Because I feel like when you're dealing with the paper trail of a aspiration Kawhi Leonard, LA Clippers, Steve Ballmer type situation, those are things that investigative reporters, especially guys like Pablo Torre, who are sports investigative reporters, that's information you can find readily available, right? Like there's public documents, there's less things like that. When you're dealing with a country like Russia and federal government stuff like the United States and wartime activities like they're like Ubiquity has found themselves to be involved in, especially like even situations that are attached to the UN with sanctions involved and war and crimes against humanity and those kinds of those are official accusations that are being made against a lot of the Russian military.
Sure.
And so how do you investigate that, right? Like how do you get information about that unless information is fed to you and you just do your due diligence to like say, yes, this is true. Yes, this is real. Ask questions to the right people, but you're led down a path, right? How investigative journalism works is someone feeds you information and you work to confirm that information. And so I guess my question is who leaked it? Because that tells me a lot. Like who leaked it tells me a lot about what this is going to look like moving forward for Robert Pera. If it's literally the way they insinuated that another NBA owner was like, we just don't know where Ubiquity Sales comes from. You're telling me another owner of an NBA franchise said, we don't know, to the Hunter Brook Media guy, and that sent them on a 6-month investigation into trying to find out where Robert Pera and Ubiquity Sales are. I don't necessarily buy that because and I think that if that's the case, then it goes nowhere because this has nothing to do with the NBA ownership or anything like that. I guess my question is if a government agent or someone that's in charge, like someone that investigates these things, actually put these guys onto this case, and then within that 6-month investigation they were on, they went to another owner and were like, hey, listen, we're doing an investigation on Robert Pera, who is the owner of the Memphis Grizzlies. You're an owner of your team. What are your thoughts about Robert Pera? That's how I see that conversation going down. Not that being the initiator of the conversation around the investigation. And so I say all to say, to me, a big, like, number one, it is a second offense, or at least the second time he's been accused of this. The first time he got accused, he had to pay a fine. Ubiquity had to pay a fine because of where their equipment was at. And so I find it hard to believe that him willfully admitting to a call with stockholders that, listen, if this happens again, I'm in real serious trouble. well, it's happening right now. And so if he's being told you're going to be in serious trouble if this happens again, then how do you allow it to, even if you are smartly using third-party sales companies to do this? That doesn't seem to be a good defense to me, number one. And then number two, how do you, like, who had their sights set on Ubiquity and Robert Pera to then push Pablo Torre and Hunter Brook Media to start looking at this? Those are questions that I think, for me, tell me, yes, this is going to be nothing, or this is going to be something. Does that make sense?
So it does. And my rebuttal to that would be that I don't think the attorney general, like we talked about last night, went straight to Pablo Torre and Hunter Brook Media and be like, hey, we got this going on. Because if it was truly an active federal investigation, this thing would be locked up tight, because Robert Pera could flee to Russia or somewhere and seek asylum. Like, that could happen.
Right.
So to me, the fact that this hit Hunter Brook Media, the fact that it got to Pablo Torre, and the fact that it got put out to a podcast tell me this is going to be a massive nothing burger. That he'll probably be fine. There'll be some regulations on the business side of Ubiquity, but I don't think it's going to touch the Memphis Grizzlies at all. Because if this was going to be leading to a federal investigation, a federal arrest, a felony charge, this was not going to get leaked to a sports investigative podcaster, because Robert Pera would say, I'm out, catch me in Canada, bitches. Like, he'd be gone seeking asylum somewhere, or at least if he was smart, he would be. And so I think that it's much to do about nothing. Everybody sees now. I mean, there is a doomsday scenario out there, and just walk with me here for a second. This is not the beliefs of Bluff City Media, Rusty Buckets, Kenny Stubblefield, or Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is just a thought. If the NBA is truly trying to force the sale of the Grizzlies to get them out of Memphis, this is a path that you can make that happen. If the other owner was like, hey, he's doing this, let's force the sale and get him out of Memphis. Again, don't clip that, Kenny, because that's not what I think is happening. That's a path. But what I think is happening is the federal government was doing an investigation, found out they're just going to find it, talked to an NBA owner, who that owner went to Hunter Brook Media and allowed this to become a story, because they're not going to arrest Robert Pera. They're not going to throw the book at him. He's going to get hit with a fine. This guy is he's worth $34-35 billion. Like, one of the top 5 richest sports owners in the world. Like, Adam Silver's not going to do anything because Robert Pera is his boss, and Adam Silver is a spineless Batman villain. It's a nothing burger. It was a shock jock. Pablo Torre, in my mind, is the modern day Howard Stern, who's doing shocking journalism to get attention and headlines, clicks, and views. My question is, why is he sticking his neck out with the Russian government here, who, like, the Russians can come off you in a heartbeat, brother? Like, what are you doing? It ain't like a paycheck ain't worth that for a paycheck, man.
That's the part, and that's the part that I think really is stunning to me. Is I don't want to just say, like, I don't want to just make a general assumption that Pablo Torre is just a shock jock, or that he is a very good investigator.
No, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
he is very good at what he does. His stories are compelling. I was locked in on all the Kawhi Leonard stuff. I've been locked in on this. Like, I love what he does. But comparatively, like, he's all about the shock and the, like, arguing with Mark Cuban on Twitter. Like, comparatively, like, he's going for the shock factor like Howard Stern used to do, if Howard Stern was a legit investigator.
Well, here's the thing, and I guess this is another part of it that I think is interesting, is we saw how the aspiration Steve Ballmer LA Clipper investigation unfolded on Pablo Torre finds out. One of the things that a good investigative journalist allows the person that's the target of their investigation to do is to hang themselves. It's to, like, put the back, create a narrative, and then the information just kind of drips out, right? And like that,
which is why it was so funny watching him play Mark Cuban like a fiddle through that, because he would give just enough. Mark Cuban would walk into his trap, and then Pablo Torre would eviscerate him in the next episode.
Well, then the Clippers would make a statement and say, well, this, that, and a third, and he'd be like, oh, really? Boom, bitches. Here's an email that I've had since the very beginning, and I'm dropping it on you right now. And you have to wonder if that's what's is gonna happen in this situation. Like, will anybody say, "Oh, I'm sure"?
This tells me everything I need to know. If he's on the Dan Le Batard show talking about this, it's a nothing burger. It's a nothing burger.
I don't know, man. He did the same thing with the Kawhi Leonard thing.
But what happened to Kawhi and Ballmer and the Clippers?
There, from what the comment section of our YouTube video that we talked about that yesterday, they're waiting to announce the investigation. It's not public. The NBA is going to announce it after the season. Is what was being said.
How about that? How about that? Here's your punishment. Next year, you're the team that has to go play in London and Berlin.
I don't know.
No other media has commented on it yet. It's not on Fox. It's not on CNN. It's not on ABC. I checked all that this morning. Like it's on the Dan Le Batard show.
Well, Dan Le Batard is Pablo Torre's boss. Like
exactly. That's what I'm trying. So I was trying to get out of you, Kenny. Like he works for like the Pablo Torre finds out is a subset of the Dan Le Batard brand, and it's not going any further than the Dan Le Batard show right now. Now tomorrow may be different, but right now it's not.
Please don't tell me you're being that, Jalen. You're my guy, bro. You're my guy. Bro. Don't be obtuse, dude. Don't be this.
I was an offhand comment about him making a check and sticking his neck out. Like my guy's going after the Russian government. Like that's something to be nervous about, bro.
Yeah, that some folks are y'all talking about a check. Some people just want to expose the truth. Both can be true. Can be true. And
there's only one Memphis-based podcast company, sports network company, talking about this story too, Jalen. Just FYI.
Well, and listen, let's not get it twisted. We want to make at Bluff City Media. We want to make money too. Like we want to make money. Like I would love to be able to cash a bunch of checks and send them to Rusty. Like I would love to be able to.
If somebody had come to me and said, "Hey, this is going on. You need to investigate it," real estate would have gone on the back burner because I'd have been investigating the shit out of this because I want to expose the truth and I want to get a check. I can do both.
me and you would be the Hardy Boys all over again, man. That's what we'd be killing it.
The big ass Hardy Boys.
Big ass Hardy Boys. But no, I don't want to even like. I feel like sometimes one of the things that you can get in a habit or get into doing in situations like this is pretending like you know more than what you do know. I just have questions, right? Like I have questions, and I don't think that this is as much as I want to think this is a nothing burger. I also don't. I think it is. It is something. There is something there. Now the ultimate result of it, I don't know. I mean, dude, he's a billionaire. Billionaires. They can do a whole lot in this country and get away with it. And and it doesn't matter. And I'm not saying it's because of the administration that's in charge now. That's been that way forever, right? Like America has built its wealth off the backs of kind of like the way Jerry Tarkanian used to talk about the NCAA. When the NCAA gets really mad at Kentucky or they get really mad at Kansas, Appalachian State gets the death penalty. Right? Like that's kind of how billionaires can do whatever they want to do and they get away with it. They can skirt the law and do whatever they want to do and get away with it. It's just me and you that get in trouble for stuff, right? Like I'm
trying to remain calm. The libertarian in me is trying to remain calm here because it goes back to the old saying, like, look at those who have the cure because they're probably the ones supplying the disease, right? Because when we fight all these wars, these politicians are so greedy and have padded their pockets so much that when we fight wars, we're fighting with U.S. military equipment against U.S. military equipment that we've sold to the enemy to make people wealthy. All right, anyway, we're gonna calm down. I get salty about this kind of stuff in a heartbeat. So we're gonna calm down because it's time for our daily dose. It's a trap. That's how we're gonna get off that before Rusty Bucket gets fired up on some politics here. So Kenny, I got a trap for you today.
Let's go.
And those of you that are uninitiated, have been living under a rock. Mr. 3-0, the only undefeated trapper here.
Woo!
I've got a series of bets from FanDuel, the official odds provider of Bluff City Media's family of shows. I'm going to give them to my guest here, Mr. Kenny Stubblefield. He's going to tell me which one is a trap in honor of our guy, Admiral Akbar. So, Kenny, today's It's a Trap is to score 20-plus points in the Memphis Grizzlies Charlotte Hornets game tonight. All right. These
Okay.
are the odds to go over 20 points.
Over 20. Okay, got you.
Over 20 plus points. Is it A, Brandon Miller minus 122? Is it B, Jaren Jackson Jr. plus 100? Or is it C, Con Knipple plus 132? They're all pretty close in there. Which one's a trap?
Yeah, this is tough. This is a tough one.
I gave you an easy one on Monday, so you
did
got a
give
harder
me-
one today.
You gave me an easy one on Monday. You brought me back in with the easy one.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're bringing out the big guns. Run me the numbers one more time. Brandon Miller minus 120.
122.
122.
Jaren plus 100. Con Knipple plus 132.
Con is a lethal 3-point shooter. He shoots a lot. He's a high volume 3-point shooter. I would suspect that. I wish I knew how many points he averaged. I guess I could look it up.
Mm-hmm. I'll pull it up right now if you want to keep thinking. I've got it pulled up right here.
Let me see it. Let me.
Con Knipple is currently averaging 18.7 points.
Interesting.
In the last week, he has scored 12, 16, 13, 21, 14 in the last week.
So here's the thing. Like I've got to change my thinking on this one because like I'm thinking about could they do it? And so I look at Con and I say he's an awesome 3-point shooter, but is he as high volume as you would need? But it's not necessarily just can he do it. It's the number, it's the odds in which he can. It's the odds in which he can do it. He's plus 132. You said.
2. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say the trap is Con Knipple plus 132.
My boy's 4-0. 4-0. So
Yeah, boy.
Brandon Miller is minus 122. Jaren is plus 100. Con Knipple actually has worse odds. LaMelo Ball is plus 132. Con Knipple is plus 152 to go over 20 tonight in the FedEx Forum. But you're right. Like I thought Con Knipple should have the plus 132 or even be in the neighborhood of Jaren because he can go on such a heater. He's gone for almost 40 a couple of times this year already.
Yeah.
The Memphis Grizzlies aren't the best defensive team. We're giving up 116 points per game, which is right at their average scoring. This could be a game where Con Knipple could go ham.
Yeah, you absolutely you saved that it's a trap for me when you gave me his last few games of scoring because I do know how, as somebody who has to look at FanDuel odds all the time, like I know how FanDuel their odds work based on the last like 10 games or so. That's where that's good. Yeah. Listen, I remember when Chip Williams Jr. Would come on Bluff City Media's network during the NBA draft cycle. And the way I think with you guys,
he loved Con Knipple. He was on our show and
on 2 Bucks,
loaded.
And he talked about he used words to describe Con Knipple's shooting that he doesn't use to describe other people, like lethal, elite shooter, a guy who can get his shot off in any
volume shooter, a guy that can get, and he's not streaky, he's consistent. He said, and he was dead on too, because he said that Liam McNeely, the other white shooter that Charlotte got, can be very streaky, and he struggled this year, but he was right on with Con Knipple. Con Knipple was one of his favorite players in the draft. And Con is averaging 32 minutes a game. God, wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, God.
18.7 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 1.6 assists to turnover, which is huge for a rookie.
How is Con Knipple's legs not falling off of his body playing 32 minutes a game? I thought there was some kind of shelf life, like you could only play 28 to 29 minutes a game or you die in the NBA. Is that just with the Memphis Grizzlies?
I paired this with the Memphis Grizzlies because they have not one but 3 players averaging 30 plus minutes. Brandon Miller 30, Con Knipple 31.9, Miles Bridges 32.4 minutes per game. Kenny, I would do unholy things to have Cedric Howard averaging 32 minutes a game. If Cedric Howard is averaging 32 minutes a game, my boy would be well supplanted at the top of the rookie ladder. You want to take a guess at our top 3 minutes per game average? Like, you don't have to be the player. I'm just like, do you think we have, well, let's do it this way. How many guys do we have averaging over 30 minutes a game?
None. One.
Jaren is 30.6. Ja is 28.5. Santi 28. Cedric freaking Coward is averaging 26.7 minutes per game.
How did it make you feel the other night? I want to piss you off before we get out of here. You know how I like to do. How did it make you feel the other night to see old ass Kevin Durant on reconstructed Achilles play 37 minutes? How did it make you feel to see Amen Thompson play 39 minutes?
42 minutes for
42 minutes.
42. Mm-hmm.
Is it crazy to you that literally Cedric Coward played an entire quarter less than Amen Thompson in that Houston Rockets game?
Absolutely. And it did like, I've been very pro Zach Kleiman throughout all this because of his draft, hitting in the draft and all things he does well. I'm getting very angry about the minute restriction, though, because it's not a Tomas Isolo thing. It's partially him, but this has spanned 2 coaches now that we're doing this weird bullshit, not playing our guys. Trey Murphy outplayed Cedric Coward by 8 minutes on Friday night. What are we doing here? Amen Thompson played a quarter more than Cedric Coward. Kevin Durant on them old ass legs, like you said, and a reconstructed Achilles outplayed Cedric by 7 minutes. What are we doing, man? I am a big, dumb Sasquatch looking mug who sits in the pinnacle level and watches these games. I don't claim to know nearly as much about basketball as Tomas or even Zach Kleiman. But I'm dumb enough to know that the best way to win basketball games is to have your best players playing their best players the same amount of minutes. And we're not getting that. And you know why, Kenny? You know why we're not getting that? Play the draft music. Because we're embracing the tank. That's the only explanation, is that we are like, these minutes are for draft position and draft position only. It's the only logical explanation.
I will say Anthony made a good point on his show the other day talking about this, because you've heard Isolo Isolo came on board. It's been 2 seasons. Last season Isolo was the head assistant coach.
Mm-hmm.
This year he's the head coach. He talked about how he was in charge of, even though Noah LaRoche led the offense last year, Tomas Isolo, his main thing on offense that he was in charge of was pace. He was in charge of the pace. And somewhere else in an interview before the season started, he was in charge of the sub rotations. He was in charge of the minutes in order to be able to facilitate that pace. All of this bullshit started last season when the person who was the head assistant coach was in charge of pace and in charge of minutes. Now he's the head coach in charge of pace and in charge of minutes. Is there a thought that, because I thought the same thing a couple of days ago, it has to be a Zach Kleiman organizational decision to let's play our best players less minutes, which seems like a bad choice to make there. What if it is Tomas Isolo? What if this is his entire system and structure?
I don't think it is, because if you look back, I'm looking at Jaren Jackson Jr.'s minutes. I ain't looking at Jaws because it's bullshit, because you can't get a good sample size.
Right.
Jared averaged 32.2 minutes in 23-24. That's the most he's averaged in his entire career. Jaren averaged 26 his rookie year, 28 his second, 23 his fourth, but that was the injury shortened year, 27, 28, 32, 29 last year, and 30.6 this year. Zach Kleiman has been the GM for his entire career, basically.
Yeah.
So Tomas is a part of it, but this has been a Zach Kleiman issue, because I thought the same thing. And then I looked at this the other day. Jaren's minutes have never cracked 30 minutes, since Zach Kleiman's been the GM. This is a Zach Kleiman analytics thing that he's forcing down the throat of these coaches, and it's costing us basketball games, point blank, period.
Yeah. And it's not helping anybody with injuries. People are still getting injured, right?
And like, you look at this and look at our injuries, and then you look at like God, I'm not asking for Tom Thibodeau, but like, those guys played in the playoffs. Josh Hart was playing 46, 48 minutes every night in the playoffs and the regular season.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's frustrating. Brevin Knight asks the question all the time on Night Court. He asks, where in the history of existence do you get less, or do you get more by doing less?
Right. That's it, man.
And he's talking specifically about minutes. He's talking specifically about the amount of playing time that you get on the floor. And it's a valid question that I don't think anybody answers the right way. And
not in Memphis,
especially, but it's frustrating. That is the one thing, as much as I think coaching in a lot of ways doesn't matter in the NBA, that right there is the part that I'm like, that's some goofy shit that needs to change.
I said this all of Taylor Jenkins' last 2 years of his tenure, because Drew, my co-host, was staunchly coaching doesn't matter in the NBA. And my statement has always been coaching doesn't matter until it does.
Yeah.
And it does in minutes, it does in substitutions, it does in timeouts. It can cost you games more than it can win you games.
Yeah.
And so, yes, in the grand scheme of things, coaching doesn't matter in the NBA until it does.
Right. Yep. Shout out.
And GMs don't matter until they do. And Zach Kleiman, you're on thin ice, brother. And I'm not just talking about Poplar Avenue out here.
This detrimental, this foggy freeze that's going on outside right now.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. Well, hey, we appreciate y'all tuning in to the Daily Grind presented by FanDuel. Thank you, Kenny, for hanging out with me this morning. Hopefully, Luke will be back later this week with some power. Otherwise, you get us two Goose in the morning. Speaking of Goose, at 11 a.m. today, I had a work thing come up. So you got Kenny and Jared Davidson on the 2 Buck Sports Show today at 11 a.m. Come hang out with those guys as they deep dive on a lot of Memphis Grizzlies topics, previewing the game. Got a couple of other fun things queued up for them, as well as a Bucks best bet, Kenny, that if you liked my prop this morning, I think you're really going to like my best bet that I got for y'all today at 11.
Let's go.
Man. So appreciate y'all tuning in. Give us a like on the way out the door. It helps us more than you know. Go be a friend of somebody who needs a friend, and we'll be back tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. for the Daily Grind.
Thank you for listening to The Daily Grind. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.